Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
What's up, friends? Welcome back to the TV Terminal. My name is Adam Vale, senior editor of thecoalition.com. Still trying to get my voice back. Doctor said about a month. Can you imagine that? About a month.
What doctor did you go? What backwoods doctor did you go see?
Dr. Zhivago. I don't know. Yo, this dude.
That sounds
I was
about
like, Are you
right.
serious? He was like, yeah, you gotta take these meds because it's something clogged up. I don't have any runny nose. I'm not in my ears.
I told you though.
But when I got sick, I got this clogged chest, and it just I lost my voice, and it's just one of those things. But anyway, I'm here with my boy Ken Burke, the Mr. Fallout aficionado over here. He knows this world. And what's up is
they've been giving us a lot of it too.
A lot. Now, here's the thing I noticed, and I'm sure you, the viewers and listeners out there, notice. This show is not holding hands on a lot of things.
Yeah, I know.
They're really assuming that if you're jumping into this world, you are familiar with this world. Yeah. Whether it's from New Vegas, Fallout, 76, any of the Fallout games, they're throwing just Easter eggs. They're not even saying names for a lot of these characters. It's like it's some shows they'll be like, hey, Maximus, and then he greets him with whatever name. That chick that walked in, they didn't say her name.
No,
he didn't acknowledge her.
Yeah.
Even his apprentice that came by, no name.
His apprentice. That's who he is.
That's
his apprentice.
We get his squire.
Yeah, he's not a wizard.
Not a wizard. Yeah. But that's one thing we noticed. But it definitely still feels like Fallout, which is what they're going for. They threw a lot of the music. That's one thing when you go into the music's there, the old timey, we're getting into the 40s or 50s and stuff.
Right.
That whole vibe. Because that was all when things started collapsing, and that's when they went into the vaults. But anyway, let's get into this, people.
Let's do it.
Yeah, season 2, episode 2. No name right now. From the screen, there's no name. IMDb has no name. You'll probably see
episode 2. Episode 2.
Episode 2. Yeah. All right, starts off. They look like Happy Valley. This reminded me of like Back to the Future, Hill Valley. When everyone's all happy, living it up, go to the diner. Everyone's walking around. You caught it, right? There was some people walking around with ranger suits.
Yeah, there was soldiers, the NCR soldiers in the old NCR getup, and then there was a ranger. I remember playing Vegas in that outfit. That was cool. The helmet with the red glasses.
Yeah. So we're assuming that's where they're at with all this.
Yeah. Well, it's Shady Pines. That's exactly that town was Shady Pines.
Shady Pines.
And we'll get there at the end of this. Go ahead.
Yep. But then we see this one guy, and he's working on a brewer, right? One of the brew machines.
Brew
stations, and he's like, "Look, I did it. It's a clean water with no rat in it."
Yeah,
right?
He took the Geiger counter out and tested it.
Yep, tested it. Looks good. I need to start doing that. I think there's some rat in some of my crap.
I think you got rats in your stuff.
I need it. I need some of that. I need Rad Guard. Remember that? Rad-X.
I need some Rat away. God damn.
Shoot, look at that. People are like, yo, these are noobs. It's been a minute. But I remember collecting all that stuff, and seeing it in my inventory. But anyway, he's telling his wife he gives it to some water. And while all this is happening, we see, what was it? The two-headed
Brahmin.
Right? So coming down the road.
Trader and his Brahmin packed with stuff. Yeah.
All packed with stuff. And he's looking zoned out. He's looking like somebody who just got out of a rave, and he's just like, yo, I need some sleep. He's walking and he collapses. They go up to him. They try to figure out what's going on. Oh, we'll take care of him. We see the thing on the back of his neck. We see one of Mr. House's devices. And then that's when, what was it that he started rattling off?
He was saying something like, patrolling the Mojave makes you want to wish for nuclear winter. And he kept repeating it.
Repeating it. Yeah. Right. So then they look to see what his cargo is, and it's a bomb. It's a bomb. The dad tells everybody, hey,
not just a bomb.
It's a
that thing was a nuclear bomb. It was huge.
It was huge.
Yeah.
Now, if this is Mr. House and this is his method of, starting things and doing all that, why do it in broad daylight? Just have this dude come at night and then drop it off and collapse on the floor and then kaboom. It's
Yeah. I think it's called suspension of disbelief. No, but
theatrics is theatrics. They want if that happened, we wouldn't have seen it. None of this.
You wouldn't have seen it, right? Exactly.
You wouldn't have seen it coming, right? So the dad, right, who we just saw do all that other work, says, you know what? Don't worry, I got this. He tells everybody get away, and he's looking at the wires and he's cutting it. We've all seen this, right? Lethal Weapon, all these things, right? Clip the right wire.
It had a Pip Boy in the bomb that he was clipping the wire for so he could read it. Yeah.
Yep. So then he looked through, clipped it. He was like, oh, okay, we did it. And then all of a sudden the screen changed and it was like counting down. I was like, no, we did it. But man, talk about quick thinking. This dude with the quick thinking, because then tells everybody to leave, quickly runs back to the house, takes everything out of his refrigerator, grabs his boy. We're assuming this is Maximus.
I do believe it's Maximus because you saw memories of Maximus getting out of the elevator as a kid earlier. So
so we're assuming. So he puts him in there and he says, "We need you to make this world better than when you left it." And it's like, man, talk about quick thinking.
Gave him the dad speech, right?
Yeah, gave him the dad speech. Put him in the refrigerator. He said, don't worry, somebody will get you out. Cross fingers. We all know how that works. Remember at the kid, they're like, don't go into those old fridges.
Yeah.
Because there was no way to get out. You get locked in. I remember kids playing in scrap yards and stuff. And they were like, yeah, you can get stuck in that shit. But he puts him in there. He hugs his wife. And then off in the distance, mushroom cloud, glow.
Yeah,
that was sad, man.
That was sad. Right? Yeah, he gave him the good dad speech. It was very inspirational. And the kid cried. The wife, of course, mom was,
it's heartbreaking.
And then the nuclear explosion, and that's how you know it's Shady Pines, because then the camera zoomed out and looked at the area that was blowing up, and it's the place that the Ghoul and Ellie, what's her name?
Lucy,
thank you. Had started the adventure at the end of the last episode in season Shady Pines.
Yeah,
which is the place her dad blew up. He blew that place up.
He blew it up. Yeah, because then
responsible for that.
We see young Hank in the mirror, and then we hear little Lucy in the background, read me a story. Says, okay, read the story, and then you see the little Pip Boy thing activate that he had. And then poof, that all happened before the intro. So a lot happened in this, but then after that, we see Maximus finally hanging out, doing his thing.
First time in the series so far this season.
First time in the series, and he's in his armored suit, and he has a different demeanor. Like this, you could see they show his face and stuff. It's like no remorse. Now, get it? He's killing, with other fully converted ferals and doing that type of thing. So it's not like he's just raiding villages and stuff like we saw some of the other ones doing in the first season. Right. But still, it's just like he doesn't even care.
He looked dead in the eye like a shark. He just walking around, boom, boom, boom. He didn't. No passion.
No,
kind of scary. Little scary how he looked.
Whether they find a helo tape, right? He was like, all right, we got one of these tapes.
Yeah.
The holo tape, sorry. Got the holo tape. He was like, all right, we got this. Was this what we're supposed to get? Whatever, man. Let's just go. They get back into the ship. I could call it a helicopter, but it was a bigger ship. It was an airship. And it starts flying off, and it's a great shot. You see this open area. You see everything. And he, again, looks zoned out.
Yeah.
Like he's just not into the whole thing.
In the vertibird, yeah, he's they're taking the vertibird back up to the big blimp. I forget, the one in Boston was called the Paragon. I'm not sure what the name of their blimp is, but the Brotherhood, they all each faction of the Brotherhood has one. Big Zeppelin looking thing.
Big Zeppelin thing. He shows up. Everybody's already like, was it Hail Maximus and stuff? Like people love him. They love him. And it's just not putting a smile on this dude's face. Was it a Threadius? I think that's the old dude shows up.
The elder, yeah.
The older greets him, starts talking to him, and he starts talking about how they're gonna find a better home or all this other stuff. And we see they show another quick cutscene of another group that found an active or working cold fusion. Right. So they're like, oh, look, we got something. So it sounds like they have plans and he just doesn't care. Like I don't understand this because there is another scene later on where he is when he was washing up, and I'll just bring it up now when he's washing up and his apprentice comes in like, why even bother? And he's like, well, you start off with the smaller things to make things better, and good hygiene pretty much is what you do. Start off with yourself, stop the smell. Come on now. Like even when he was cleaning up his armor, they're like, "Why are you doing that?" It's like, shoot, man, what are
it's
you
the little
doing?
things?
Yeah,
But those were things that knights taught their squires. There's the big picture, and then there's a little picture, and sometimes it starts with you, and that was the lesson he was trying to give his squire.
Yeah, but it was weird. It's just
so in that sense, he seems like he cares. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
It feels like he cares about the knighthood, what it stands for, should be standing for, and doing things like teaching his squire the right way.
Yeah.
But then he goes out on missions and he looks dead in the eye and just kind of willy-nilly.
Yeah.
And doesn't.
It's leading to that. Well, I want to know more about him. What's going on. We're assuming this has to do with Lucy, right? Because even there was another part with it while we're still on the topic of Maximus, when the other person came in there, assuming it was another knight, right? And she was like,
his friend, the other chick,
the other chick, that was there. And she said, "Oh, are you thinking about this girl?" And then this and this and that. And he's just like, whatever. Because he said there was nothing good out there. Remember, he's like, this is as good as it gets. And he's like, well, what about the girl? I'm like, well, whatever. But he didn't want to think about it.
I have duties here. He got all
he got all defensive. Come on, right? But anyway, we jumped a little bit with that, but it doesn't matter because that was just a little bit with more Maximus. Because that was the really interesting part of this episode was Maximus.
Yeah, it was mostly about Maximus. You saw some of the girl in the ghoul in the beginning, and you get a little bit in the end, but
like we're getting it right now with Lucy and the ghoul. They're walking, they're doing their whole thing. She's still trying to be Mr. Nice. She's like, hey, you got to be nicer when you see your family and stuff like that. He's like, yeah, whatever. Just shut up, stop this. But then what do we hear? And we've heard this in the game.
He's rude, dude.
He's rude. He's a ghoul. What do you expect? The man has been alive for 200 years. If you're 200 years deep, are you still going to be Mr. Nice Guy?
Yeah, this is that conversation that they were having right there.
Yeah. They're doing their thing. And he's like, come on now. He's like, let's just, I don't care. I just want to see them. I want to get there. She's over here talking about, she's got books for him that can help him out and all
that. Self-help. But and he said something I thought was really smart. He was like, you want to know who I was before the war? I was just like you. Stupid.
Stupid. Yep. Yeah. And what happens? We hear someone screaming in the background in one of the buildings.
Yeah.
We already heard
an old hospital.
Yep. Don't go in. You know what? If I'm bored, if I'm playing a game and I get bored or something like that, and we've seen this with many other games, Red Dead Redemption and stuff, help me. Yeah, pull over to the side, help out. But something's going to go down. This isn't going to be a simple, oh, yeah, my foot hurt. Can you fix it? Oh, yeah, you bandaged it up. Thank you. No. So once you hear this screaming coming inside, she's like, we got to go help. He's like, no, that's trouble. He said, we don't go help.
He was like, nah, people have been screaming for 200 years.
Yeah.
Not going.
Yeah, they're not going to stop.
She wanted the XP run. So
she wanted the XP run.
Yeah, exactly. She turned right. She went in.
She wants that loot. So she goes in. We go in the basement. You thought maybe this could have been an audio tape or something.
I thought it was going to be like a robot with the human voice. Yep. They've done that a couple of times. The handies and stuff, right?
Yep. Nope. But it's like a young girl there, and she's hurt, and she needs a stem pack. And then there's another guy on the other side. This little confusing. Go ahead, people. Put it in the comments if this makes any sense to you, because the guy also needs help. They don't really say what happened to them. We find out eventually, but the ghoul walks up to him and just like slices a piece of flesh off and starts eating it.
He killed him first. He was like, let me give you a hand up, cowboy. And he put his hand out, and the dude reached for his hand, and he just sliced his throat. And then He's bent down, and you don't see it. You're watching the ghoul, but you can tell he's cutting something off the body, and then he pops something in his mouth. It was
oh man, the dude is making his own jerky to go.
Yeah,
you know. But this was interesting. So he does it, and she's in shock. She couldn't believe what she just saw.
Yeah,
You know, it was like, well, you're not doing this to her, and then he starts spitting it out. He's like, this is bad. This isn't good. And then we start hearing critters all around. Right? They're coming all around them and stuff. And it turns out that it's rad scorpions, big ass, radioactive scorpions come out, a few other things. There's a big fight. He goes down. He does get stung, right? He gets stung with
good fight. Good fight scene. It lasted about 5 minutes.
Yeah, very good fight scene. He gets bit, he gets stung, but he gets upper hand. He kills it. Boom, he's done. And then, like you said,
this grenade in its mouth.
Yeah, put the grenade in the mouth, make it kaboom. A lot of things go kaboom in this episode.
Small and large.
A lot of babooms. All right. Then we get one of those character choice selection moments.
It was literally like I was playing a game. So the girl got hurt again during that fight. Not Judy, but the slave girl and the ghoul. And it was up to the main character, obviously. Who do they choose? Stimpack for the slave girl or Stimpack for the ghoul?
Yeah.
She made her choice.
She made her choice, but she gives a reason why. She was like, you'll survive, a lot longer with your condition. All this. She won't.
Yeah.
So he gives that. And then, but the shocker with all this is that she says
her out.
He cuts her out, but the fact that she says, I'm going to bring her home and then I'll come back and get you. You don't know where she lives. You don't know how far she is from here. Why?
That's her happy-go-lucky.
No.
I'll be back.
I wouldn't do it. If I'm playing a game, even if I did, let's say if I was a character and I did this and she said, hey, thanks, can you take me home? There better be an option, yes or no. Because if not, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. That's taking me off the path.
I would probably take her to the next fork in the road and drop her ass right there.
Oh man. Hey, you found your way here, you can find your way home. Come on now.
Go left, go right.
She didn't even say anything about the dude that died. Was that her boyfriend? Was that someone that captured her? Was that her friend?
Well, he was in the same clothing as her.
The same clothing. Yeah.
So I'm assuming they were both slaves.
Probably that, but maybe on the run or whatever. But she leaves, and then there goes that. We get a quick scene with Norman back at Vault 31. Everyone's breaking up from cryo. One person can't see, another one's freaking out, another one falls down. It's kind of comical with all this stuff. They're trying to figure out what's going on. What was it? The name Bob Ash or what's his name?
Buddy Ash.
Because he was the one in charge of this area.
He was the vault tech guy back in the day
before
the war.
And he basically says, that dude's dead. Like, that's it. And they're like, well, what are we doing? And then they just start freaking out. And he doesn't really know what to do, because this was a last ditch effort, because the robot turned all the power off.
Yeah,
pretty much.
You saw it. Did you see in the background he killed it and threw it in the garbage?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, the robot was dead in the garbage in the background.
Oh, see, that's cool.
But but he's a bit of, he definitely doesn't strike you visually as a leader. Little short guy,
no.
Kind of nerdy looking, and he doesn't get their attention right off the bat. And so instead of galvanizing them when they're all waking up and getting them to, pitch in
he
and
doesn't
work
know
together,
what to do.
He doesn't know what to do. And he kind of just sits down and they all start freaking out.
Yeah. Then we jump to Hank. If you remember, he was back at that HQ. And this, again, very cool that they're showing us this, because it looks lived in. It doesn't look like, this is just one little small set. He's in a little cart going from room to room, bringing a rat to the science lab.
Cart,
a little golf cart he's running an experiment. He's got a mini version of the house neck device, sticking that on. But what we don't get, again, people, if you could figure this part out, he's cranking the meter all the way. I understand this was supposed to be like a mind control. We saw that in episode 1 when House used it on that, right? Hey, I want you to go kill your friends. crank it a little bit. Oh, that was enough that he's accepting the command and doing it. But we don't
It
even
seemed like Hank was just cranking it to blow the mouse's head up.
Yeah, he wasn't giving it a command. He wasn't like
splatting on the glass.
Yeah, it wasn't like putting some cheese on another side of the wall that there's no way it would go, and like trying to
he
point.
was just kind of
It
was
doing
weird.
And we saw it was like almost like a little montage with this because it was one after another, after another, after another, right? And all of them failed. So there goes that.
Yeah.
Now, the only other question I have with this is because he made it seem in the end of episode 1 that he figured this whole thing out with the device. Remember, he said, "Hey, you're gonna want me because I."
Yeah, he was talking confidently,
He's
but
talking,
I don't think
he's talking BS. He's talking BS because clearly he hasn't gotten there, and he just wants somebody to respond back, and they haven't. We jump over to your favorite spot, Area 51.
Oh, that's right.
Right?
That's what the Brotherhood uncovered,
Brotherhood, they uncovered Area 51. They're happy. Area 51 is more like a storage locker now, because it had cars, it had the Declaration of Independence, it had
guns, and
guns.
There was an
Icebox.
icebox with an alien in it, and the young knight was like, "Oh man, look at this!" And I thought he was going to say an alien, and he just grabbed the alien and threw it. He's like, "An icebox."
Yep.
That was great.
It's the little things. It's the little things.
It was the little things.
So then this is where we jump over to Maximus. That was already went through that whole thing where he was talking about cleaning and stuff like that. Still looking all
Squire, right?
Still trying to figure that out. But this is a big meeting, right? This is, and I think they sort of they hinted to this earlier on with the head, the leader knight, Thaddeus. I think that's
Thaddeus. I think
Thaddeus. Mm-hmm. So he's there. We saw another ship show up, and that is another group of knights, right? Another faction of the knighthood. They're all sitting around a table. There's one person in particular.
4 other ships showed up.
Right? Yeah. They started all
coming. A lot of all the factions came together except for one.
I don't know. Every time I see a bunch of groups, the factions or gangs get together around a table, I think of The Crow, and I expect to see Brendan Lee just like jump through, on the table. It's just the little things that always trigger with me.
Great scene.
It was for top dollars. Like, what's this?
Cinema classic. Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome. They got to stop trying to remake it. Just let it be, man. You can make new ones and continue in a different story, but don't keep doing the remake the first. Don't do it. They did it again in that movie bombed. But whatever. But anyway, they do mention that there's one guy who's not there. But they say, if we bring him in, he's gonna hog everything. Because the goal is to take down the Commonwealth. Right?
Yeah.
That's the goal.
So basically in old Fallout lore, west of the Mississippi is NCR and Brotherhood in the Wasteland, and to various other factions, one of which we wind up running into in this episode as well. Mm-hmm. And Rangers in Arizona and a couple others, and all the gangs. But east of the Mississippi is the Commonwealth, and they have a tenuous truce going on right now.
So they feel that with all the weapons, everything they have cold fusion, they should be running the show. The Brotherhood, and that's it. That's the plan. They're like, all right, this is what we're gonna do, and they're all for it. It was all right. It was interesting. There's always the one brute dude in every group like this, with the tweezed up mustache, talking smack that the woman's at the table and all that. There's always one. And we'll see what happens with him.
That one dude had a plate in his head with words on it. Like he just took something and was like,
and he just took it on. It was like, all right, let's drill that in. We get Lucy with the girl. She notices that she can speak Latin. That's great because Lucy says she was a teacher. Yeah, I remember she had a bunch of skills, but we didn't really spend much time with her in her vault before
right?
Yeah, before everything hit the fan. Because wasn't it like the wedding and then. Turns out that one of the guys was one of the bad guys.
Wedding, yeah.
Right,
and I kind of already figured it out from the clothes that the girl was wearing. They look like the slave clothes. And sure enough, right when they were getting to know each other, walking, they looked up and there was a bunch of legionnaires standing on the cliff sides with torches and spears,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And when Lucy looked back, the slave girl was gone. Gone.
Chris Angel,
Later.
mind freak,
Yeah.
disappeared.
Ninja puff.
She knew. She knew. But she even told her because she said and they didn't have a lot of dialogue, but when she said, "Where are you going?" He's like, "I'm going to New Vegas." Like, you shouldn't go there. The wrong people are gonna hurt you, type of deal. It's like, oh, she knows. But I get what they're doing with the whole thing with Lucy. She's from the vault. She doesn't know any better. But I have this hard feel. This hard time accepting people that are that naive.
Yeah.
I get it. We're from New York. We've seen a lot of people. I've met so many people that were from the Midwest that came out, whether they were people that went to skate or they were artists or something. And they're like, yeah, I just looked in wanted ads and I saw the job, or I saw a bunch of people, looking for people for roommates, squatting out in a warehouse, and I'm living with them and I just live out of back. I'm like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
There's things you just can't do, but whatever. Anyway, she falls for all this, and then the girl is gone. We jump back to Norman. All these people are now so pissed out. They're freaking out. They don't know what's going on. And he thinks quick now because I was part of this managerial program, elite unit.
He flips the script.
Yeah, you are all here to work under me. That's what this is about, and this is how I know so much about the other dude that passed away, and I'm the one that got you out, and this is what's going on. So the goal is to get us out of here.
Yep.
Find a way, right? And I'll give you merit buttons or merit dots.
Yeah, no, the merit dots. They're like little patches, like nicotine patches or something. Yeah. Some product from pre-war.
Yeah, and then one of the girls was like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's start doing this. And then poof, they start working like worker bees, and then that brought a memory of Fallout Shelter. Remember Fallout Shelter?
Yeah.
Where you would grab them and give them, assign them work, and then they just start doing it. And so
like
very cool.
Too.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Then we jump back to Hank. Hank goes into another section of this AQ. What was it? Premium Elite, right? Plus or something like that.
A section of people super rich people frozen, and he raises one of them and then starts experimenting on them, right?
Well, that's what I first thought when I saw that sign, and just like you said, super rich. But
he said, "Hey, I can only pay for one."
But that was a problem. Then Hank said, "Yeah." He's like, "Wait a minute, I see you had a family and you only paid for one. Well, I can only afford one." Well, this whole system was about family. That's how this worked, because we needed families to grow together, and so we can't just have society and have single people come in. It was always about the families. We saw that with the selection process of people going in. So anyway, we also see that he's got one of the house necks devices on his neck. And again, instead of, I was like, okay, this is it. He's gonna start asking him questions. He's gonna try to get different reactions,
and
then he just now. Maybe he was supposed to do it that way with the questioning, but that triggered and pissed him off because he's got Norman, he's got Lucy, he's got kids, and now that he knows from the sheet that the damn dude that he woke up let his family die, and just so he could save himself, he was like, nah, I don't even bother. Crank it up and pop. Go ahead in the comment. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe that's not why he did it.
I'd like to hear other people's opinions about that. That'd be interesting.
Exactly. Yeah. Let us know. How do you interpret that scene? Because it could have been that, but then again, he was doing that same thing with the mice also. So anyway, they do.
It was kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Malicious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was it. His head goes kaboop. We jump back real quick to see Lucy. She's looking around, doesn't know what to do, and again she just says, well, I'm nice.
Oh, she gets run up on by the rest of the Legionnaires. Yeah. That was a quick scene. She got obviously she's still looking for the girl. She's going through the woods, and she pops out in a teeny little clearing, and there's a bunch of Roman soldiers there, or Legionnaire soldiers. The Legionnaire dressed like the old Roman
Yeah.
legionnaire. That's why.
You know, and that's pretty much it for her. Now that I think about it, because I don't think we see her again after this.
No, not after
Right?
that.
That's
So
it.
you
Because
get
then,
and they're slavers, so you
yeah.
get the
Oh yeah,
impression that they're gonna
They're
be
gonna enslave her. They're gonna do something to her. They're gonna.
Mhm.
It's a mess. She found it. See, and what happened to Ghoul? The Ghoul also we don't see. He's still laying down in the basement. You know.
Oh yeah, you never saw the ghoul again after
No.
that part of the episode. But I like that though because the whole first episode was about them, and the majority of this episode was about Marcus or Maximus or Fin 2 or whatever you want to call him.
Yeah. So we jump back to Norman, Vault 31. The people there make like this whole human ladder system. They get up to which were like a crank
A ventilation.
like a ventilation shaft. Yeah, there you go. They open it up and then it's like, hey, there's a ladder here. And then one of the other guys, go up there, leader. You know, like testing him, you know, already, you know, they're throwing jabs at the dude. And he's like, yeah, I'll do it. And he did. Sure enough, he goes outside. And like you said, he was shocked. This is the first time he's outside. But
Yeah.
I love the background chatter. And he's because you hear one guy's like, oh man, the mall is gone.
Well, because they were all the people frozen were from pre-war.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He was born in the vault. So he had never seen the sky before.
No.
So to him, it was beautiful outside. And to them, they were like, oh man, it looks horrible.
But then, I mean, they're going to have issues because they don't have any of their suits. And I'm sure there's still radiation in the air.
Yeah, they just came up with book bags in their vault.
They just came up with bags.
Yeah.
You know, it's not good. It's not good. You know. So let's see, where are we at over here? I think we're at no, because now this is it. Yeah, this is back at the fight, right? Because this is when we start getting toward that scene with the ship. Another ship shows up, right? Because it was a fight. Because that was the other thing. Marcus, while he was there hanging around, some big dude stepped to him and was like, "Oh, you killed so and so." And yeah, I did. He was like, "All right,
well,"
good. And he went to fight him.
Yeah, well, in context, they were all on the flight deck watching two armored guys fight.
Oh yeah,
right.
It was a rock'em robots.
Back and forth, rock'em robots, right?
Yeah,
and while they were watching, he got tired of it. He's like, "This is bull." And he started to walk away, and then some big Viking looking dude, long beard and bald head, rolled up on him. He's like, "I heard you're the guy that did the blank blank to the lady from the blank blank."
Yeah. He said he wants to fight him. He's like, "All right, yeah, we could throw down." He said, "Let me get my suit." No, we're doing this bareback. Whoa.
Yeah.
You know, but and again, I'm waiting for a reaction from Marcus. Remember, he had a lot of reactions and just I don't know.
He looked at the elder to get approval.
Yes, that was the thing that threw me off. I'm like, oh man, you are really a badass now. You've turned into like you're ready to throw down with this guy. Because he looked at the elder.
He was bigger than it. He was much bigger than him too.
And then they go in, they start fighting. The guy starts stomping him. You know, it's like, okay, he's taking a whooping here. But come on now, it's Maximus. He's one of the main characters. We know he's not going to die here. So he gets in. He gets in. He gets to take the dude down. The guy gets pissed. He takes out like a sharp object from his boot, starts swiping at him. Swipe, boom. He turns it around, uses it against him, gets him. And I was like, oh, maybe he's going to let him live. No, he doesn't. He just straight up kills him right there. You know, and everyone's cheering. And again, no reaction.
Well, yeah, then he looked up and it was kind of sad too, because you as the viewer got it, but he looked up and his squire was there, and his squire was like, yeah. And he was all like happy that he just murdered the guy. And you could tell he felt bad. He was like, I don't want my squire to think that this was the right thing, you know? While all that is happening,
Yep. Another plane shows up.
Yeah. Another vertibird shows up, right? And that one was all shiny. That one was all shiny and silver. Did you notice? Like all their stuff is beat up, and this dude came in on the shiny vertibird.
Oh, yeah. He got it good wherever he's at.
Hemp clothing and everything. Yeah.
And then he was like, "Yeah, I heard it's a civil war to take down the Commonwealth."
It was the faction leader, the Indian guy, I guess. We didn't catch his name, right?
Heartless. I think that's what they said. That's what I wrote. Harkness.
Yeah. And basically, he's the guy they didn't invite to the table because they thought he would just
hog everything up.
And you can tell by the way he rolled up that they were right. Yeah.
He rolls that way, and he definitely presents himself that way. So, and that was it. There's a lot in this. This is when they first announced this show. I was like, how are you going to go about doing this? There's so many different directions. You said it yourself. The lore is massive.
Yeah.
It's massive. Not even just from the game, but if they want to take from the novels and stuff like that, the comics that have been written. I mean, it's been around for decades. So it's like to try to put it together.
Do what everybody thinks
exactly. And to try to make it work in a way that makes sense, but also pays tribute to the IP and doesn't go too far in another direction by introducing new things. It's going to be tricky. Because we're expecting New Vegas, right? Well, I don't remember any of this stuff in New Vegas.
Yeah, they're mixing it. It's kind of like a little from here, a little from there. But I'll say this. 2 episodes in, right? I think they did a really good job reeling us back in. I mean, because the show hasn't been on for almost a year, right? They did a good job of laying down the new story for Lucy and the Ghoul and the new story for Maximus and the Brotherhood. I think from here on out, we're now on par, and the stories will kind of flow, and there'll be some subplots that develop and everything. But I think they did a good job in the first 2 episodes, bringing us back in and hooking us again. So a lot of cool video game references, great use of music, characters. So far, so good.
Yeah. So already, if like people are like, all right, well, where do we stand with all this? Maximus and his crew, the Brotherhood, are now working to go against the Commonwealth. They're getting ready for the Civil War. There goes that. We still got the Ghoul and Lucy trying to get to New Vegas, but right now Lucy is captured and the Ghoul is in the basement injured. And then we got Hank, who is trying to modify or master the house device,
blowing people up
and just doing it wrong. Now it's going to be interesting because he sent that message out. Eventually somebody's going to either reply or show up, and he's going to have to produce the goods, right? Something's going to happen there. So there's a lot going on here. It's cool. Some of the flashbacks, I want to see how that relates. That was really sad. We just said with the freezer, refrigerator, and all that stuff with Maximus. But it would have been cool if he like opened up his eyes so we knew it was him. And these are the things that he's still thinking about. Like he can't let go of the past, but it didn't portray it in that way. So who knows?
Not for nothing, but for somebody who got trapped in a refrigerator in a nuclear explosion, I don't know if the first thing I'd do when I grew up is want to be inside a big metal suit.
Well, wasn't that the thing that saved him? Right? That was it.
It did. It saved his ass,
he was like, and he was like, this is it. I want to be the ones that help. That was it. His whole life. That's all he wanted to do, be the one to help. But anyway, thanks again.
Good call.
Right? You thanks again, people. If you made this far, thanks for the likes, the subscribes, and then the hypes, and then just sticking around. We're covering the whole season. Fallout. We love the game, as you see. We're talking about it. We love this universe, and we'll just want to have fun with it. All right, everybody. We will talk to you next week. All right. Yeah, that's right. We got the whole Christmas thing. Yeah, it's Christmas Wednesday. Yeah, happy holidays. There we go.
All right, brother. Thanks,
later.
Man.
Yep.